Hi YouTube, welcome to Inktober day 16. I think I actually marked this as 17 on accident because I posted it a little late, but this is day 16 for me. I wanted to draw my candle maker character in her workshop, mostly because I really love drawing environments and putting a lot of details into them. Things like people's rooms and their workshops. I feel like you can tell a lot about a person by how they decorate and how they surround themselves with things they love. So that was pretty much my goal with this piece. For this drawing, I used fluid cold press watercolor paper, a Prismacolor Verithin pencil in crimson red, Copic multi-liner pens, and a couple of different Pentel Aquash pens with various amounts of ink and water mixed in. I also used one color of a Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencil, the same one I used in my last drawing, and a Uniball Signo white gel pen. When I posted this one on Instagram, the most popular question I got was, how did I come up with all of the details in this drawing? A lot of them are inspired by images that I've saved over time. I really love seeing workspaces and studios, so on my Pinterest, I have a couple of different boards dedicated just to environments. I also like to decorate my own workspaces similarly, so some of the items in this drawing are things that I actually have in my own spaces, and some of them are things I'd like to have. I look at a lot of photos and get inspiration from furniture, trinkets, books, materials, and color schemes, everything like that. I've been researching candle making lately because I really want to try doing it myself one day. So I researched the different type of materials that you would need in order to make candles and made sure that I had a lot of those materials laying around on her desk. Things like a little stove to melt the wax, some beakers, a grinder for some spices and herbs, bottles of essential oils, some crystals to add into the candles, and all of the various candles that she's already poured with the wicks sticking out and tied to the stick. I absolutely love putting a ton of detail into my drawings. It's really fun to hear when someone looks at my drawings for a couple minutes just to see every little detail that I've put into it. And really, once you have the pencil drawing down and you've planned it all out, the inking stage is the easiest part. You don't even really have to think about it, you just do it. I used some Micron pens as well, just so that I could get different line weights for different areas of the image. I tried to keep the lines heavier in the foreground and thinner in the background.
It's a cool hard world outside my window. Where people don't know which way to go.
I finished inking the whole image, I went through and started adding shadows and value throughout the image with my Pentel Aquash pens. These pens are pretty much the water brush pens that I have added drops of ink to from the other Pentel brush pens. When you're working with ink washes, it's important to work from light to dark. Start with your lightest color, the one that's almost clear, and map out where you think your shadows should be. In this drawing, I had a little bit of trouble with the shading just because I had multiple light sources that I wasn't sure about. Originally, I had planned for it to be nighttime with a full moon shining into the window, and then shown light sources from off the image, maybe a lamp on her desk or something. But I decided to go with daytime just because I felt like it would end up getting too dark and there wouldn't be enough contrast in the center. So I stuck to the sun outside shining in and one lamp on her desk, creating another light source for the desk. Once you know where your light source is, it's easy to figure out how to shade all the objects. You just have to be very aware of your light source and make sure you stick to it. Also, when you're shading a detailed image like this, it's easy to get lost in all of the details and not realize where the focal point of the image is. So it's important to use tricks like vignetting and contrast to make sure that the viewer's eye is looking where you want it to look first. In this case, I wanted you to look at the girl first, right in the center of the image, so I made sure that at the end I did some really light ink washes around the edges of the image just to make the contrast a little bit less there. And wherever you want your focal point to be, you want the most contrast. So your lightest lights and your darkest darks should be at that focal point. So I have her face contrasting with her hat right in the center of the image. And you don't want as much contrast anywhere else in the image. It's a lot of things to keep in mind while you're inking, and it takes a lot of practice. I have to think about it really hard as I'm working on it, but in the end it all pays off. I really love this character that I've come up with. I got a few good names from the last video I posted. Thank you guys for your suggestions. And maybe I'll do some character design work and some turnaround sheets just to have this as a reference. I'm excited to do my next drawing with her in it, but you guys will have to wait and see what it is. As a final step, I used the same colored pencil on her cheeks as in certain areas in the background, just to tie it all together and keep it a monochromatic palette. I shaded things like the antlers record behind her, her salt lamp, mittens, her fingertips, her cheeks, and some other random things in the background. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. I forgot to mention in any of my videos that I'm doing the same thing as I did last year with Inktober. That means that at the end of the month, all of the originals and prints will be on sale, and I will have a pre-order for my new Inktober zine all at the same time. So be sure to check out my Instagram and make sure you're watching that for any updates on the store, and I'll be announcing when my shop will be open again. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!